we can have a look at how this is then, this UDP socket is used in our code. And then have a look on the same application and the main in there. And what happens first in the code. So in this code, it's my style that I'll put first in the code, that explanation that what it is, and then there is a reference that you can have a look on the documentation of all these, and then connect the board with these lines, these wires, and then starts the code itself. So there isn't anything special. There is the normal include embed 8, and then there is the include this ESP interface. And that's the same kind of application like the Wi-Fi interface, but it's specially like made for this ESP module. So we use this ESP interface instead of that normal Wi-Fi interface. And then there is an application for the NTP client. So the NTP client is this NTP is the network time protocol. And so there are the network time servers. And someone has written a nice application for reading the time from there. And yeah, we can have a look at what kind of messages we get from the NTP client. That actually is there, just a moment. We are back in the UDP socket, and then go down the page. And then there is a UDP socket example. And this one here, then we will have a look from here at how they work with the UDP packets. So they define a socket. So wait a second. Socket, and then the socket address. And then also they are printing the IP address that they get from the network. And then there is a definition for the socket itself. So UDP socket, the socket. Socket open, so it is opening using the method open from there. So it's got now the UDP like running. And then this net they define in here. In this example, are they using the Ethernet? Yeah, and that's originally with the Ethernet interface. So not the Wi-Fi, not the ESP interface app, but the Ethernet interface app in here. So that's the net. So when you have a net.something, it is the method from that class. And then it's saying here, net get the IP address and put that into the socket address. And then it is putting to this is the time server address, and it goes, I think, into the socket address with this command. And then it's setting the port number here. So we are sending the UDP messages to that time NISTGOV. And somewhere there is a name server which is interpreting that to an IP address number. And then there is the port number where we are sending those messages. And then it is putting there into the output buffer of the UDP message something which is time. this seems to work with this that server. But I tried also in Finland, the Finnish national time server, and it doesn't work with this kind of simple request. There needs to be the official the request according to the official definition for the NTP servers. It's rather long. It takes 48 bytes message to send the data and make a request. And there needs to be a certain definition bytes set to get the correct answer from the time server. So, but anyway, then this server seems to work also with just a simple message. So you're sending there into that IP address, that port number, just a message time, and then it will answer from there. So it is sending to that socket address, which is the time NIST cow. So the IP address it's finding from the name, translating the name to the IP address. And then out buffer is that one, the time. And then there is you need to send also the size of the, how many data bytes there are on the message. And then you take the size of the out buffer. So that's a character table. So there is the type is character. So in this time, it is just these 4 characters. And the size is, if I understand correctly, the size of that one is 4. And then it is sending the data out. And then it is receiving from and putting that to in data. And it is receiving from the same IP address, putting to in data array, and then there is the size of the packet. And from this in data, it's got the structure, and then in that in data structure, there are the seconds. So it's taking from the in data the seconds, and then in the NTP server, the 0 is the January 1st in the year 1900. And then on all the computers, we will use the Unix time. So the Unix time 0 is 1970. So the January 1st, 1970. So we need to calculate the difference between those, and that's that many seconds. And then it is making a conversion. Is that conversion visible in here? No, it is making a certain conversion still from the incoming data. And then it is printing that what is the time. And then, yeah, that was how the UDP message was handled in here. So you are sending, you define the out buffer. It is characters. It's an array of characters. And this time it is just written their time. And then it's a short way of doing this, because then that's the socket sent to with these parameters. And it is returning 0 if it is successful. It is returning something else if it doesn't succeed. And then they are testing if it is returning something which is bigger than. No, it is, I think it's sending it is getting a negative return. And then it goes in here. Error sending data. If it succeeds, it goes to something positive, right? And then this is how to receive the packet. The same way, you define it's coming from the same socket address. You write it into the in data, and then you also get the size of the packet. And we know that the in data is then a structure, and in that in data there are the seconds, and then so on. That's how the messaging is done in this demo code, which is there on the as an UDP example on the Embed OS documentation. And you see the documentation is for the version 6.3, not anymore for 6.2. This was released exactly today. So later, if you look at the same site, okay, there might be another version number in here.